Hey, folks, Dave back here with my New York Rangers hat on. Yeah, they didn't get there. And that's all right, though. I'm hoping Edmonton will pull something off against those dreaded Florida Panthers. But anyway, good to be back on here. It's been a handful of days since I've been on. Things still aren't any better over here. It's still just complete aggravation with everything going on. I don't want to get into any more negative news. What I want to concentrate on today is something a little bit more positive. And anytime you get something in the mail, it's a good time. So I'm doing two things here. I'm having my diet root beer when I can hold it with my bad left arm because it still hurts. The therapist worked me so hard yesterday. I'm having a hard time picking up the root beer. That's how sore my arm is from therapy. It's a good sore, but still can't pick it up. Anyway, we're gonna get into this unboxing right now. Here we go. So this comes in the mail today. I'm like, what is this? I don't remember ordering anything. And I look over here and Stone Mountain Press. I'm like, oh, that Gary. Oh, that Gary over here at Stone Mountain Press. What are you doing? Did Gary know that I was having a bad week and he sent me something over? I bet he did. I bet he did. As Apachata comes by, thanks coming by, and Ben comes by too. So let's see what could possibly put a smile on my face here on what has been a glum weekend and a glum week. And this is supposed to be hump day, and it's still hasn't got any better. When does it get better? All right, what do we got? Oh, looks like some cards. Looks like some cards. All righty, let's open them up and see what we got here. Is this what I'm going to be playing tonight to get me out of the funk? There we go. There we go. And it is 78-79 pro hockey season. And this is for Stone Cold Hockey. So, yep. So I can add the newest season to my Stone Cold Hockey game. Let's take a look at what we got here. So it was Montreal and New York in the finals. And I remember this is the too many men game. This is the game that the Bruins had the Canadians on the ropes in Montreal and should have gone to play the Rangers. And I think they've actually played that series out in Apper and a couple of other things, and the Bruins easily won. Should have been a cup when I was in my formative years. We were that close, and we just couldn't get by the Canadians at that point. So they went on to beat up the Rangers pretty good. Although I think the Rangers took game one with Phil Esposito. That was neat. Let's see. Let's take a look at about what I do like about here. When you get the cards printed, the cards are nice. The quality is really nice here on these cards. And semi-gloss, I would say. Semi-gloss on the cards. But there's a little recap of the season that he writes up. So individual winners, the Hart was Trottier from the Islanders. And the goalies were Dryden and Larocque from Montreal. What a surprise. They called the Rookie of the Year, Bobby Smith, Minnesota. Remember Bobby Smith in Minnesota? That bad Minnesota team? The defender of the year, the Norris, was Potvin of the Islanders, and the Conn Smythe playoff MVP was Bob Gainey. And says here for the original six, the season was marked the end of an era, or end of an era. This was the last matchup of the two founding teams for decades to come. Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of stinks about hockey nowadays is I always said when I talked to Ron when I first started doing cards and dice, and I said, if I ever get into a season or playoffs, I'm going to rewrite history and I'm going to play 1-16. 1-8 or 1-16. That's how you play the playoffs. That's how they used to do it. So you're going to get the best two teams come out of the playoffs in the finals. Not the best team from the East and the best team from the West, the two best teams. And I think that's the way to go because for so many years in the it was the 90s when you had the Avalanche and the who were they going at it with? Well, you had Calgary, Edmonton. That would have been a great Stanley Cup. And then you had the Blackhawks were in there against a few teams. And then you had who was it? Colorado and somebody, Detroit. They had epic battles in the 90s. That would have, and then they get in the Stanley Cup, and the Stanley Cup is lame. So this is great here. So yes, it is. It is the end of an era. And this is the last season of WHA too. So he brings that up. He goes, although the league contracted to 17 teams with the folding of the Cleveland Barons, a major expansion is in the work with the addition of 4 teams from the WHA. And then he goes on with the description here. So, yeah. Yep, there we go. So here we go. So we have the Atlanta Flames. They had one more season after this, I believe, and then they moved to Calgary. So you got your Atlanta Flames here, who I like to play. Of course, you got your Boston Bruins with probably my second favorite Bruin, Rick Middleton here. He's got to be my second favorite. Jim Petty. I remember Jim Petty. Boy, they gave him 78 to 99 on the starts. That's kind of generous of them, actually. And for Atlanta, you got Dan Bouchard, Phil Muir, and Yves Belanger. So there's your Atlanta goalies. Anybody over here that I might note? Willie Pletz over here, Tom Lysiak. They had a good squad. You know, they were 41-31. They weren't a bad team. They really weren't. And then there's your Bruins, 42-23. So they were pretty close. 41 wins and 42 wins. And Buffalo with 36 wins. Donnie Edwards and Sauvé in the net. And Randy Ireland, I don't remember Randy Ireland. Chicago 29-36. Tony Esposito was kind of getting kind of old at that point. He still was really good. But then the Colorado Rockies. That's right. Did I put the wrong date on there? You know, I think I did. Yeah, thanks for catching that. That's how that's how it's been going. I'm going to fix that right now because it's going to bug the crap out of me. You're right. It is June. Oh, you know, in the other thing that happened, Ray, thanks for reminding me of that, is I got a notification that they were going to cancel my health insurance because I hadn't paid it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I got the whole month of May to pay it. You know, it's June, Dave. It's June 5th. So yeah. Just leave it at that. So I fixed it. Thank you so much. No conferences, no divisions, just one table like the Premier League, says Ben. I like that. I like that idea. Take your top 18s and move on them. Yeah, and that's what's great about doing the cards and dice stuff is you can do whatever you want. You really can. So this is a great season for me. I'm glad they come out with this one here. And I know the Bruins lost to too many men, and you know the Canadians beat up on the Rangers in the finals, but still, there's a lot of teams I enjoy. This was kind of almost my peak as a kid. 78, you know how I love the 78 baseball and the 78 football. The 78 hockey's kind of up there too. Although I did like some of the earlier 70s for the Bruins. Jeff comes by. Jeff, I've been watching your videos. I love your videos, by the way, Jeff. They've been really fun to watch. And Andrew comes by as well. I'm not doing better, but when you got an unboxing, when someone sends you some cards here to check out, it makes my day. So Gary Brown, thank you so much. So I got the Colorado Rockies. Michelle, I'm going to say this wrong, and PJ's going to kill me again. Michelle Plas. I thought Fred Cusa called him Place. Bill Olachuk and Doug Favell is in here as well for Colorado. He only got a handful of games, but they only won 15 games. Ooh, Colorado, 15 games. So we'll get some Colorado going here. Detroit had a bad 70s and 80s. I don't know what it is in Detroit. 23 wins. Rutherford and Rogie Vachon was in their net. Their top guy is Vaclav Nedomansky. That's not a good top guy to have. That's for sure. Let's see here. Los Angeles, they were 34-34. So they were even. Marcel Dion, Dave Taylor, Butch Goring, Charlie Simmer on this team. It's a good team. Mario Lessard and Ron Graham in the net for the Kings. Minnesota, again, there's that crazy Minnesota team. 28 wins, 28-40. Not good at all for Minnesota. Bobby Smith and Al McAdam are your top guys. Gilles Meloche. Oh, you got to love Gilles Meloche. Gary Edwards and Pete Lepresti in the net. And there's your Montreal, 52-17. Give me a break. Lafleur, Shutt, Mondu. I mean, it's just a Hall of Fame. All the way down to Brian England. It's all Hall of Famers. Dryden and LaRocque in the net. And there's your Rangers with Phil Esposito, Pat Hickey, Anders Hedberg, Nilsson, Duguay, McKellen, Greshner, Walt Kachuk, Steve Vickers. There's some good names on here. Davidson, Thomas, and Sotart in the net. And here's your New York Islanders. This is right before they started to turn. I think this is the season Ron's playing, right? On Action PC. Or was it Strat or Action PC he's playing? I think it's Strat. And he's got the New York Islanders. So he's got Bossy, Trottier, Gillies, Potvin. This is all before this team turned into superstars. Glenn Rush, Billy Smith in the net. So this is kind of the foundation before they really turn the corner here. And been going to play through this. Haven't seen Stone Cold Hockey yet. I played a bunch of Stone Cold here on the channel. It's been a while. I do like the PC game that they have. And maybe that's what I'll do is I'll set it up on the PC game. But I do like the cards and dice just a smidge better. I just like the cards and dice version of this. So it might be fun to play a playoff game because this game plays really fast. It really does. And Eisman, Probert, Chelly's in mid-80s couldn't do much with it. Yeah, they had some good teams there. Eisman was the best. He really was. The Flyers, 40 wins on the Flyers, 40-25. This is they did get to the finals the next year, right? In 79-80. They still had some names on here. And Stevenson, Perrant, and they have Robbie Moore and Pete Peters here. At the bottom of the goalies. So Stevenson and Perrant. Perrant was kind of old and hurt at this time here. Your Pittsburgh Penguins, well, they were 36-31. Give them credit. I didn't think they were that good in 78-79. Dennis Herron, Greg Millen, and Gord Laxton in the net. Laxton with a 1. Ooh. Gord Laxton with a 1 in the net. Some names here I'm not familiar with. Greg Malone, Peter Lee. Don't know. Rick Keogh and Ross Lonsbury. I do know. Rod Schutt, Oris Kindrachuk, Greg Shepard. Nice. Greg Shepard with Pete Mahovlich, Randy Carlisle. Oh, they had some good guys. Stackhouse, Tom Bladen, Dave Schultz. They had some good guys here. They really did. Oh, even Dennis Herron gets here on the assist column with a 98. That's kind of neat. I was kind of wondering if they had goalies on here, so some of them do. So I guess if they had an assist, they'll get on the column here. St. Louis, oh, man, 18-50. Why were they so bad, St. Louis, in 78-79? Brian Sutter, Bernie Federko, Gary Unger, Wayne Babbage, Larry Patey, Kurt Bennett, Bob Murdoch, Inga Hammerstrom. Those are some good numbers and good players there. Phil Meyer and Ed Stanielski in the net. Maybe that's why. They didn't really have the goaltending here, but their team wasn't that bad. But 18 wins, it's like 3 more than Colorado, so we might have to play some St. Louis, Colorado here. The Maple Leafs were 34-33, so they were 500. Lanny McDonald, Darryl Sittler, Walt McKechnie, Tiger Williams, Boya Soming, Dan Maloney, Ron Ellis, Ian Turnbull. A lot of names here. Joel Quenneville on the team. And, of course, one of my favorite goalies, Mike Palmateer in the net. Paul Harrison and Pierre Hamill were also goaltenders. Vancouver, they weren't that good. 25-42-13. Here at Vancouver. Here's some guys that Rod Settlebauer is their top guy. I don't remember him. I know Lever and Gradine, Kurt Frazier, Stan Smeal, Pitt Martin, must have been his later days after Chicago. Chris Odlefson and Hilly Graves and Dennis Vervegard, Harold Sneps. There's some names on this team. But they only got 25 wins. Hanlon, Bromley, and Dunk Wilson in the nets. And then the last team is Washington. Boy, a far cry from those 74-75 Capitals. 24 wins for the Capitals here. Dennis Maruk was on the team, the former SEAL. Bob Sirois, Guy Charon, Brian Walter. I'm trying to think of anybody else here that I really know. Dennis Hextall was on the team. He didn't take a lot of penalties, I'm surprised. Then you got Gary Ennis, Jim Bedard, and Bernie Wolf. Bernie Wolf, the great name for a goalie, Bernie Wolf in the net. So that's a quick look here at Stone Cold Hockey, the 78-79 pro season. And P-Jet says Settlebauer's nickname was Sudsy. I can imagine why they called him Sudsy. But anyway, so it might be time to get some Stone Cold Hockey back here on the channel now that I have 78-79 in-house. Thanks so much to Gary Brown for sending that over, and we will get that going here. So that's a new season that was released, 78-79 pro hockey season. And again, this was the one of the last times, if not the last time, that we had the anybody play anybody in the cup before they went to the divisions or the conferences. I'm pretty sure PJ can correct me on that. And the WHA was finishing up here too, so I think it was the next season the WHA joined the NHL, and they all became one big happy family, you know. And Doug comes by and says, "I have all the Stone Cold Hockey stuff." Isn't it a great game, Doug? Stone Cold Hockey is so fun. I need to set that back up here on the table. I think I have a spreadsheet set up that I can play with it and get that going. But fun times here. So I got to see if I'm going to play this on the tabletop or if I'm going to play it on the computer. But I would like to play it out here. I got some matchups. Like I said, I want to play. What did I say? It was Detroit. So here's Colorado at 15 wins. What was the other team at 15 wins that I was surprised with? Who was it? St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis had 18. So that'd be a neat matchup. Colorado and St. Louis. And then also, I got to play the fictitional Stanley Cup. It was St. Louis, Ben. Yeah, I need to play the fictitional Stanley Cup with Boston. Swap that over here with Boston and the Rangers. That's a fun one to do. The old what if Boston had hung on and they got the win in Montreal and then played New York. And that's kind of what we played this far. These games here is just for the what if sometimes and in the whole bit. But there's some matchups here I want to play. I'm going to be playing, obviously the Atlanta Flames. I'm going to be getting some love here on the channel, and obviously the Boston Bruins. So a lot of teams here. This is another good season. I'm kind of glad they come out with 78, 79. So we'll see if I play it here on the tabletop, which should be fun. I haven't played this on the tabletop in a while. It's easy to play it on the computer. It goes pretty quick, and maybe I could bang out a series on the computer real quick. But the tabletop's always fun. It's always fun kind of doing it yourself and rolling your dice and the whole bit. So anyway, well, I'm Dave. Yeah, so tell you, aggravating week, tough week, work, health issues, just a lot of things going on. Death by 1,000 cuts, as you would say. It's been not a good week, but this come in the mail today. The wife goes, "Hey, you got a package." I'm like, "What do I got coming in here today?" And 78, 79 pro hockey for Stone Cold Hockey. So I'm real happy with that. And I also was happy to find out that 1980 come out on Apple Football. So I didn't jump on it yet, but at some point I will grab that, once things get a little bit better over here. But anyway, and Doug says, waiting on some hockey bone season. He said, yeah, that's another one I need to play. Right now I'm in a basketball mode. I don't know why. I've been enjoying some basketball here on the channel, as you've seen, player of the game, and I get my regular season pulled out behind me over here to play that again and just have some fun with that. But and the Hoops PC basketball has been fun. I've been playing a little bit of that offline. That's been fun, but I've been in basketball mode. But now got some new cards in for Stone Cold. There they are, 78, 79. And so I might have to get back into Stone Cold. Maybe do my well, I think they did 1-16 for the playoffs here, didn't they? I think it's the last time they did that. Those are just the best. 1-16 playoffs are the best. It's just you're going to get the best to come out, and not the best necessarily, but the best to come out of the playoffs, not just the best of your conference. So that's why I like to do that. But anyway, I think Ron's on at 8 o'clock tonight. I'm pretty sure. So keep an eye on Ron. I don't know if he's on YouTube or Twitch, but keep an eye, look out for Uncle Ron tonight. And maybe I'll come on after him and play some Stone Cold Hockey tonight or something like that. So it gives me some time to set it up and play and figure out what I want to do. And PJ says 77 was a bittersweet season with no more Seals or Barons to root for. Yep. In fact, he does mention that here on the little card here. He says, although the league contracted to 17 teams with the folding of Cleveland, expansion was with the WHA was in the works. So, yep, that was kind of tough for that. But anyway, so that's the thing about this season here. There's no Seals, there's no Barons. So this is the first season since the Seals joined the league, I believe, that there was no Seals or Barons to play. But you do have Colorado and you do have Atlanta, and you know how I love those old teams. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some Stone Cold here on the table soon enough, or on the PC, one of the two. I got to see which one it's going to be. But anyway, hey, I'm Dave. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.